Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor, and look, I want to reevaluate my stance on something. I realize I did something this past week that's just more negative than I intended it to be. It's getting misconstrued and miscommunicated, and I want to own my mistake here and the way I did it. And I want to explain myself to show support for Zack Snyder. Look, I have not always been a fan of his films. Some people don't. I know a lot of people love his films, but I'm actually very excited and happy for him to get his film made. And I realize because I got caught in a report where my sources were wrong, the Warner Brothers sources that I was quoting clearly didn't want anything to do with this film, but didn't realize that AT&T was in the background trying to still make this happen. And look, when my sources are wrong, I'm wrong. I tried my best to own that as much as I could, and people were still hitting me. It was this very small group of a fandom of Zack's that, you know, I realized I shouldn't be engaging with. It was a very vocal minority of people that angered me. They're bullies, and every fandom has it. It's true. But right now, that fandom was very empowered and was hitting me, people I knew, people I cared about, and taking personal shots, death threats, all these things. And I realized, I thought I was doing the right thing by engaging and trying to stand up against them. And so I created this thing called Reject the Snyder Cult. And I did this sort of trying to do a good thing by trying to stand up against these bullies. I figured everyone in this fandom, everybody online would sort of be like, yeah, why would we want to encourage this? Let's not let these people turn this into a toxic war. Let's stand up for them and let the real fans and Zack enjoy the win. And I realized it backfired. It backfired in a way because a lot of people, one, just weren't reading it. They were looking at it and thinking I was rejecting the cut. It looked like I was rejecting the Snyder cut. It looked like I was calling all fans toxic. And that's where I realized I definitely did this improperly. Look, I'm not backing down to what I said. I do believe there's a small part of this fandom that's negative. But what I realized after talking to a lot of DC fans and fans of mine who were talking to me, you know, civilly, and I appreciate all of you that did, I realized I was giving fuel to their fire. I was only focusing on that negative, and I sat with that for a while, and I realized I don't want to do that. That was not my end goal. While I thought my intentions were good, I realized it was actually angering a lot of people, and there was no reason to anger these people because, look, these people deserve the win right now, and we should be focusing on the positive of that win. And I want to thank Ryan Cannell, who brought me on his onto his podcast. He did a live celebration. A bunch of people on there who haven't been big supporters of what I've said recently, but it was really great because we got to speak civilly. It started a little heated, but we were able to sort of talk it out, and I really was grateful for this conversation because, look, even they agreed. Why are you just ignore the haters? We're not all haters. Let's stop adding fuel to the fire. Look, I had feelings with them. They had feelings with me. We were able to express our feelings, and I think we all sort of left that conversation realizing, look, we're all grown men here. We can ignore who we don't like. We can block who we don't like. We can block the people who are just trying to hate. And that is the takeaway here. And that is really what I want to make sure is the movement moving forward. Just to all my fans that I was sort of trying to inspire there. Look, there are going to be haters in every fandom. It's a fact. It's how we engage with them and be better people that I think is what I want to try to do better of. I want to try and do that more. That's what's important to me. I'm going to make mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. And I still own what I did there. But at the same time, by listening to you guys and listening to a lot of people and people who are just confused or angry, I understand why this fan base is angry. The more I spoke with them and listened to people in the, Snyder fans, they've been laughed at for years. They've been told their filmmaker sucks. His movies are terrible. They ruined these superheroes. And look, I've been vocal in that. I haven't been a fan always of some of, the adaptations he's done. I'll be honest, even in my Screen Junkies days, I was not a fan of BVS or Man of Steel. But over time, I've come to appreciate that he did something different. And I do acknowledge that there were a lot of fans who liked it. These weren't massive failures at the box office. They just weren't as high as the expectations for a lot of us that we wanted. And I do want DC to move forward and try new things, but I see why these fans, and particularly why they're so angry that Zack got his vision stripped from him. I really wanted to make sure I did a positive piece about this movement and this group because it's not really about the fans is what I've come to realize. It's about Zack, and it's about the fact that Zack went through a tragedy, like something that no adult, no parent ever wants to go through. It's literally the worst thing I can think of losing a child. He lost a child as he was making his film, a film that was supposed to be a two-part, and make other films. He lost a child, and then the studio ripped another child from him in a way. Look, as a filmmaker, when you make movies, they feel like children too. So for his family, the Snyders, to go through that tragic loss and then watch the studio just completely just throw everything he did to say, let's make it more like Marvel. You know what? I don't like what Zack's been doing. Marvel's better. Look, I understand why fans got angry. Fans got mad, and then fans got told they were stupid, that their filmmakers sucked, that their movies sucked, and that's going to rile some hate. And look, we may not agree on the style of the movie. We may not like Zack Snyder's Justice League, but the reality is the dude got just destroyed by that studio. Warner Brothers did not treat him right. They didn't want that film. They still don't, from everything I've heard. But AT&T came in, saved the day, and gave those fans what they wanted. And look, they did it. They deserve that win. They should enjoy this victory lap, and we should let them. We shouldn't be trying to just focus on the negative and letting these trolls, the toxic people, and even some people still in the fans who are trying to like spin this into like, trying to make me seem, no, I want to make sure we stop that. I am not here to encourage or inflame that toxic base anymore. I don't care what personal shots people are taking on me anymore. Look, let them say what they need to say. What we can do, instead of empowering them, we can power ourselves to block them, to ignore them, to not engage with them. And if people want to engage with them, that's their right. That's what's going to happen. I'm still going to have hot opinions. I'm still going to have takes that aren't going to be the same with a lot of you, but I do think we need to be more civil, myself included, to try to make sure I'm not fueling the negativity. That in this case, I realize I can step back and say, all right, by starting that movement of rejecting the Snyder cult, a lot of people weren't actually going to watch the video. They're just not going to do the research. They're going to see that from afar and think I'm just hating on them. And for that, I want to clarify. I don't want to do that. I do want to fight the haters, but I realize you fight the haters, you fight the bullies, you fight those anonymous Joker accounts. You fight them by blocking them, by ignoring them, by not giving them the attention that they crave. That is the lesson here, and that's what I want to do. And I wanted to make sure I just made a video to clarify my words there, to make it clear, like, I'm not backing down. I'm not changing my stance on things. I listen to people. I listen, and a lot of times I think we have to do that here. As commentator, as fans, we got to have conversations. And that's what I want this channel to be about, is having conversations. I'm, again, so grateful for Ryan for letting me come on there to have that talk. I promise them I'm not just going to talk smack on them when I left. That's not my goal here. We're not going to agree always on movies, but we can at least be civil to each other, I hope. And that's my goal moving forward. That said, I just want to echo at the end of this video, I really want to focus on the positive of this movement, because what happened to Zack was not right. And these fans were mad. And a lot of us were poking those fans, whether we realize it or not. It does go both ways. When we start saying Zack Snyder's a terrible filmmaker and so on, I would have gotten pissed. I would have gotten pissed. I wouldn't have taken to the strength, the length that some of the minor fans do. But it's easy to sort of just be passionate about something and get mad about it. I've seen it through my life as movie fights and nerd wars. People are passionate about what they love. And I think they were passionate about Zack Snyder finishing his vision. That's what this is about. It's not just about the fans getting a movie. It's about respecting Zack to finish his trilogy, what he had always intended to do. And you know what? As a creator, I applaud the fact that he was able to fight that fight, keep it going, overrule the Warner Brother bullies, and just get it done. I mean, it's pretty amazing. A lot of people are going to have conversations, and I think this is a fair conversation to have. What does this mean? Is this always good to cave into the fans? It's a good question that we need to figure out. Sonic redesign, I think, was a great thing. We shall see if this film is better. I look forward to seeing it. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt. Those are conversations that I think are fair having. Was this a smart move? All of those conversations to me are fair business conversations, but when we start taking personal shots against fandoms and people are wrongly generalizing what we say, that's when I realized I needed to step up. I don't want to be on record and I haven't been on record, but I don't want my words to be misconstrued or clipped out of context, or people who are my enemy trying to re-quote me. I want to say it to you here directly. I support the Snyder Cut. I've always supported the Snyder Cut. And I look forward to this. And I'm grateful and happy for the fans that they got this made. They deserve this win. And I want to focus here on some of the clips out there that have really sort of showed that, because you can see the emotion in a lot of these fans. Zack got to just... has been stuck with this.
Is helpful. See that?
Look at these guys. This is cool.
Oh my God.
I mean, this kid and his daughter, they get to enjoy this moment and realize, oh my God, this thing that everyone told us wasn't going to happen. It's actually real. Our belief in this guy was right. He wasn't stringing us along. He did make this happen. He knew someone at AT&T. Whatever the real things that were going on, he did it. So we got to let it go. It's there. We got to give them I got to give them a round of applause. We got to give them the W in this. And that's the reality. I mean, look at Ben Affleck. We got to go to Ben Affleck next because Ben Affleck is the one who's just, from everything I told, was just turned to alcoholism, everything through this movie and everything else going in his personal life. This was not a good experience. And now he's back healthier, looking healthier than ever. Happy.
I'm very excited that Zach's getting a chance to finally see his vision realized. I think it's a great thing. I'm really excited for the fans to get to see it, and I want to say thank you to the fans because it was their enthusiasm and their passion that made it happen. Without fan support, I don't think it ever would have happened. And I love Zach, and I love his version of the movie, and I look forward to everyone getting a chance to see it. What up, Smith?
But Kevin, he's talking to, and he did that. And then the one I want to end on here specifically is Ray Fisher, who gets extremely emotional talking about this. And this is, I think, the most important part of why this movement was important for a lot of people. And I just didn't get that. I mean, I knew it, but I didn't really fully get it until I really sort of started seeing these and talking to fans. Like, no, this was for Zach. This wasn't for me. This wasn't for the movie. This was for Zach, who got screwed by that studio and never got to finish.
Shout out to all you guys. Shout out to the support. Especially the support that you've given the Snyders for Autumn and for their family. I know they appreciate it beyond. Oh man, here we go. All right.
That's real, guys. I don't believe that's fake for a second. That's serious emotion. He gets so choked up, he's got to step out. He starts crying. He comes back.
No, come on, baby.
He's really reacting to this. This is a win. This is the win for Zack Snyder's family. This is a win for the movement that believed in this guy as a filmmaker. And you know what? They deserve it. Round of applause to everyone in that community. They're not all toxic. They're not. I've said it so many times, but it doesn't matter when I go out starting saying, yeah, reject the Snyder cult, and I'm only focusing on that, and I'm not making videos like this. I realize that's going to look one-sided. It's going to look negative, and I stand corrected. I want to make sure I do correct myself when I'm wrong. I'm going to make mistakes, like I said. We all do. We got to own up to them. We got to listen to each other. That's my goal. It's always been. That's the genuine me that I'm always going to try to do. This isn't because of flack. It's because I started to focus on that negative fan base. And it started bleeding into my everyday. It started those 100 people, whatever it is, those 100 people just started just attacking me all full force. And it's not playing victim. I'm just saying by engaging with them, I noticed like, this is making me feel crap. Like this is, I don't want it. Why am I feeding the bears? Why am I doing it? Just ignore it. Just block it. Move on. We got so much positive stuff to focus on, including this cut and the fact that a filmmaker was able to turn around a studio who wanted nothing to do with it to get his vision out there. And look, if this vision's better, cool. I am all for it. I'm not going to go in hating this movie before I see it. I didn't love Justice League. I didn't love BVS. I liked parts of BVS. It was rushed. So if he can actually stretch this out and hopefully not add a ton more things and really let these characters develop the way I've been wanting these characters develop, who knows? Maybe this really will be a surprise to everybody. So again, bravo to Zack Snyder for sticking this through as hard as it was. And thank you to the fans who have been speaking to me civilly and helping me just sort of be better educated on why this movement was so important. I hope some of you who maybe been on the fence, we can sort of slow this down. We can let them have their victory lap. We can wait for this movie to come out, and then we're going to watch it and see what it is. Let's not just hate it out the gate. Let's give Zach a shot. It's going to spur a lot of other cuts. We just noticed it with Make Solo 2 happen, which I just did a video about. The Ayer cut. They pretty much tore his movie apart too. I liked parts of that movie. Should David Ayer get his too? Why not? Especially if we got this venue of HBO Max, which why not put out alternate cuts, commentaries? It's a streaming service. You got hours of content. Give the fans a chance to see it, especially if it's just a re-edit. I don't see the harm in that. As long as we allow them to sort of move forward in the direction they want, and we're not bullying the studio to say, well, no, reject everything and do these. I don't see why you can't have two things going at once. Some people are going to disagree with me, but you know what? that's a fair conversation to have as well. That's the kind of stuff we should talk down the line. Right now, though, positive. Congrats, Zack Snyder. Congrats to the fans. I'm excited to see what they have. That's where I stand on this. Don't believe anything else you see out there. My DMs are always open. If you've got an issue with me, you could reach out. I always am pretty communicative, but I'm going to ignore the hate. I'm starting to do it more and more. I don't want the hate. And if you think I'm hateful, then that's your right. You can block me back just the same. That's the power of the block, the ignore. It goes both ways. If you don't like a channel, don't subscribe, unsubscribe, take them out of your life. Those of you who stuck with me this far and to the end of this video, thank you so much. I'm trying to squash some of this beef, some of this negativity. I tried to just do it with John Campea. I know a lot of people click on those videos, but I want to end that stuff. I don't care about that feud. So click on over here. A lot of other content around me. So thanks so much. Watch it. And again, kudos, Zack Snyder. Look forward to seeing what happens with this. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Thanks, everybody. We'll be live tonight, Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. live, Eastern Standard Time. Thanks, everybody.